Good afternoon, John, Brenda. Hello. Hey, Helen, good morning. All right. Hey, Rick, how you doing, my friend? Afternoon, Jim. Fantastico. Beautiful. I greatly appreciate it, everybody. Morning, Kevin, Charles. How are you guys doing? How's the airline business going, Charles? I can also see you as well as hear you. Yeah, that's good, Jim. Oh, excellent. Good. All right, as we get started here, keep in mind everything we look at is for educational purposes. Nothing's meant to be advice or recommendations. We got a couple of things coming up this week. Trading You is the 27th. That is tonight. Mastering the Trade is on the 1st, which is anybody that is in power option plays, you will automatically be registered for that class. And on the 2nd, which is Thursday, we've got Trade Watch Alerts. Amelia's doing her next training there for all of her members that are in her, Trade Watch Alerts class. Vegas Spreads Mastery. Sean's killing it there. We do that every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Mastermind group coming up on Tuesday night. Power Hour Trading Coaches Playbook on the regular schedule, as are top, power option plays, Covered Call Explorer, E-mini Think Tank. All right. 3 for hearing, seeing. Got it, Jim. Okay. Tires are holding on. That's good to know, Charles. Tires are important, aren't they? Someday if you guys are ever in front of me live, meaning in person, ask me the story about the airplane wheels. I'll be glad to tell it. Charles has heard it at least once or twice before. So if you like what you see, guys, make sure you follow us on all the various social platforms. We will put Power Hour up on YouTube when we're done here today. You go to tradinglikeaboss.com for all of our free resources that are available. You should be going there to register for Power Hour, Trading Coaches Playbook. When we had volatility training with Sean Reed, it was up on there. All the free resources we have are available on that page, right? Here's our manifesto, folks. When you're looking for a place where you belong and what it means to be a trader here with Wealth Builders, this is it. You're going to start seeing this come up in some emails that you get. We're making some changes, not changes, but phase 2 to our newsletter. Just out of curiosity, have any of you not seen our newsletter yet? Just give me a 2 if you have not seen the newsletter. 2 for no. Don't bother with the ones. I appreciate it, but this is going to fill up really fast if we do that. Our newsletter is killer, folks. We're adding a bunch of things to it now. So again, if you go over to tradinglikeaboss.com, right? And let's see where we have it there. Sean's always moving stuff around me, so I have no idea where we are. Actually, my bad. It's not on here. My bad. It's not here, because if you are registered as on our website, which if you're in this class, your email was put in, your name was put in, and a password was sent to you, you'll get an email from us every Sunday that has the newsletter in it. If you want to just say, hey, where is it and how do I see it and what does it look like? If you go to wealthbuildershq.com and just put a /newsletter in there, right? Give it a sec to come up. So there's the video for the weekend of what I'm looking at for the S&P for this upcoming week. What's going on around Wealth Builders. Of course, all our social platforms. All of these links, that phase 2, we're cleaning these up and making them clickable now, which means you'll be able to go to that link, click on it, and register for it or get into that class, that training right from there. Earnings, we're not going to do anything different on that. Economic reports, same thing. Those will all be the same. We're adding but a strategy content in here as well. So there'll be some education every week. We've got a training on trading, right? So we'll be putting that in there as well. So this is our number one opened email of everything that we send out all week long. This is it. This gets more opens than anything else, than multiple of our other emails combined together. So make sure you check this out, folks. It comes out on Sunday, but don't tell anybody. You can actually see the newsletter. Normally it's done on Friday night. Normally. This weekend, I was not home on Friday, so I didn't do it till Saturday. I have a very good friend of mine that is in a movie. It came out this weekend, Friday night. So I was at the premiere on Friday night to go check out that movie, which was awesome, by the way. So check this out, folks. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go there and check it out. But you're going to start seeing the manifesto on there, right? As well, things like that. But this is trading boss is what we shoot for, making you a trading boss, right? It's part of our community. It's part of the belonging. It's part of how Wealth Builders moves forward to take you from wherever you are today, wherever you are. I know nothing about the market. I'm a full-time trader, and anyone in between, wherever you are, to where you want to be, right? And that's what this manifesto will help get you there. Yes, PK, it was Jesus Revolution. Yep. Yeah, so Jennifer, just send an email into the office to support and ask them, because there's no reason you should not be getting that link. Remember, it just looks at it may look like just another email to you. It's inside just a regular email. So give me a few seconds, Kevin. I'll answer that for you about POP and Monster Market Movers. All right. Vegas Spread Mastery, right? Sean has a training still up on, I think it's Trading Like a Boss. There's still a replay of it up there. If you want to see what it is that he does and how he trades the market and the volatility he goes after, go ahead and check that training out. Ooh, I don't want to do that yet. What trades did you guys do? Drop those trades in. I'd love to see them right now. As far as what you did today, that's what this is all about. This is all about community. It's all about accountability, right? Drop them in. I'm very open and upfront every week. Mondays are a crazy day for me. It starts usually about 5:30 a.m. and my first breath normally comes in about 1:45 p.m. Normally. Today, no, I'm off to an appointment. The second we're done with that 1:15 meeting, I'm off to an appointment that I have right after that. So it doesn't happen today. So trading gets harder for me on Mondays, which is okay. There's 4 other days of the week. There's trading at night if I want to. There's plenty of opportunities to trade. All right. I got a little bit off today, but not a whole lot. Not as much as I would have liked. Okay, so let me bring this back over here. So I had this up here, and Kevin was looking at this. So what's the difference between monster market movers and power option plays? So power option plays, let me go there first. Power option plays is a recorded session that I do twice a week. And inside of that session, it's 30 minutes to an hour and 45 minutes. It just all depends what it takes. And an hour and 45 minutes is usually very long. It's not normal to have that. And usually it would only be on a weekend if we did it. So we do one time on Tuesday, one time on Sunday is the second update of the week, where I actually go over and list out all the trades we're looking for, all the candidates we're focused on, all of that type of stuff. All that type of stuff is that we're looking at for that week, that particular update. You know, what stocks do I want to see, right? So if I bring this up, let's see here. All right, so this is last week. Then Kevin, these are the trades that we closed over the week, the second half of the week between Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You could see 22, 3, and 4. First 3: Adobe, Home Depot, Netflix. 22, 3, and 4. Right, so we were up $3,900. Our closed trades are here. We've got 90 minus 3 plus these right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 5. So we got 95 minus 3, 92 trades so far this year that we've taken, right? Some of them are 4 contracts. Some of them are 10 contracts. Some of the trades went in our favor. Some did not go in our favor. Some we had break even. Some we crushed it, like here on Booking at $15,000 where we crushed it, right? Or this Tesla trade where we were up 85.80, okay? So power option plays focuses on 20 stocks. Monster Market Movers is the Fibonacci training. So we go and find channeling patterns, trending patterns, and 5 different fib setup patterns. And right now we're in the process of training on each of those patterns in Monster Market Movers. Every month I do another recording, and we are housing it inside the members area of Monster Market Movers, and it will not be available anywhere else. So we've done a switchback trade. We did the zero line breakout. We did an inverted zero line breakout. And we also did one on how to properly draw fibs. That will be the place to go to get all of the advanced training on Fibonacci. Okay. So every month you wind up with 150 or so candidates as a big list, master list. And I break that master list down. Let me see if I can grab something for you. I don't want to grab the one from the other day, but let me go and see If I can go there and then maybe there and possibly there. Jan, okay. So where's my addendums? My action plan right there. Okay. So this is my action plan from the previous month. So January 25th, right? This is what I was looking at. These are regular fib patterns, H's up to 50 and 618, Fibonacci zero line breakout, right? The inverted zero line breakout, both, right? Fib channels, a switchback trade, and a Fibonacci 4-step. So there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different trade setups that are fib related. And then we go into stocks that are trending up, stocks that are trending down, channeling near support and channeling near resistance, right? And of course, there's trainings on how to utilize each of these, all right? So in a nutshell, Kevin, that's what we're looking at for the difference of the two, all right? I hope that helped for what you were looking for there. Let me take that out of the way. Let me take that down. All right. Yeah, Eric, it was a good movie. If you like that kind of movie, you know, yeah, they did $14 million over the weekend, I think it was, plus whatever they did Sunday night. So they did decent on it. Kelsey Grammer's in the movie, so he plays a good part. I've never been a big Kelsey Grammer fan, but I think he played a good part there. Yeah, PK was good. It really was. Let's see. So John said he did Wheel of Fortune, Beyond Meat and Riven naked puts, and Beyond and Plug cash flow, $1,500 plus. Nice, great job, great job. Trader Will, 32% on Nvidia. Awesome, Will. Let's see. Jim said did not get any trades off today. That's okay. I didn't get a lot myself. Donald said SPY and QQQ up a few bucks. Let's see. Thank you for that, Miguel. I appreciate it. Charles said bought calls on CMG at 34.5, sold them for $40 this morning, $5.5. Charles, that's awesome. One contract, $550. Charges a bit. Charles might be a big wig, and he trades 1,000 contracts. That would be a lot, just a lot. $550. Great job, Charles. Great job. Let's see. Jim said on 2.9 Chipotle, you killed it for $13,026. Yes, we've done extremely well this year. Actually, expecting it to be a big hit for us, which is always going to be booking, right? Bigger spreads and definitely expensive options, lower open interest. So you got to contend with that. But booking is always done well for us, but it's never done as well as it has done this year for us so far. We probably have 6 or 8 trades. I think last year, the entire year, we did less than 10 trades on booking. And I think we've got 6 or 8 of them so far this year alone. So we've done extremely well on booking this year. So yeah, 13 grand on one trade we did. It was awesome. PK said SPY, $330. There you go. I love it. Love it, PK. Yep, Brenda's giving some kudos to everybody. Go ahead and do that, folks. Give some kudos to everybody. You know, if you traded or didn't trade, that's fine. But there's a lot of people that put themselves out there and said, I did this, I did that. Go ahead and give them some congrats. Always a good thing. Always a good thing. Fantastic. There we go. Love seeing them come in, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for that. All right. So today, Tesla just happens to be what's on my chart, but let me go ahead and pull this up here. Tesla's one of the few that I did. They were up this morning in pre-market. I saw them after I had done, actually, I don't remember. I don't know if I still have the sheet here. I think I tossed it already. Let me see. No, they weren't not on for this morning. They weren't on for this morning. I already had tossed it out with all my notes on it from what I was looking at. They weren't on this morning. I saw it after the fact for Tesla, and they had gapped up. And where did they gap up? Right to that 202.13 level. So if we go over and look at 202.13 and 200, right? And even to the point that we could go in and say, all right, where was, you guys ready for this? Check this out, watch. Where was the 8 moving average from Friday's close? Right, there it is. Okay, so let's bring that in. $200.41 is what we're looking at there. 241. All right, so let's go and look, so here's what I would do. I would come in here and put a line in place. First thing I'm just going to do is change the price, $200, 0.41, right? I'm going to just click OK. Right? I really don't like going in and doing all the rest of it from in there. I'm going to come here now, and I'm going to right click on the line. I'm going to go to color. I'm going to change the color to pink because that was my 8 moving average. I also want to change the style of the line to this dash dot type line. Okay, you do whatever makes it easier for you. All right. So when we look at a 5-minute chart on Tesla, right, we gapped up right about where we had our fib line. So the opening price was 202.10. We got 202.13. We're right there, right? And we stretched down. We didn't quite make it down into that purple line, you know, the moving average. But what we did have here was a blue zone. It's not that light color blue. I'm not sure if I can do that. I never really changed these colors. It's just, let's see if I can get the same one. Oh, I do have the same color. Okay. No, that's not it. That's the outline. I don't want the color there. I want the fill color. Right. Okay. There we go. Right. So that is our blue zone. It's a little harder to see with that color in there. Okay. But you get the idea. You get the gist. But I never got a retest on a 5-minute candle. Well, if I go to a 1-minute candle on this chart, and look at what happened here today. And actually, I'm going to get rid of this box right now. It's just too bright now at that color, which I don't normally put them on here. I know they're there. It's just I don't usually put it on. So now we'll go back to a 1. We'll scroll backwards. We'll find the beginning of the day, which is right here. And we gapped up on the first 1-minute candle. We opened right at the fib line. And what happened? We moved up a little bit. Where did we go to on the close there? We went to 202.70. So about 60 cents, 57 cents higher than we opened. Okay, beautiful. The next candle, we pulled back and closed pennies below that 202.13. Closing price was 202.01. So 12 cents below. This candle right there, that's the opportunity to take the bullish entry. If you're wrong, your stop is going to be somewhere down below the swing low we had there on the opening candle, and you're good to go, right? And then we had a nice climb from there. Now, remember, these are 1s. Now that we're in, I'm going to flip it back to a 5. And what if you traded this and just put a trailing stop on this? You think at some point you would have been out, maybe right by the time you get over to the moving average? Right at about 10:35, you're in the trade on the first candle at 9:35, and you're out on within an hour on the second trade. What did we do? 15 3/4 was the option price for the entry, and it was about $19 when we got out. Call it 18 3/4. It's about $3 move on Tesla, 1 contract, $300, folks. I mean, great, phenomenal setup. So Brenda, the blue zone, if you see over here, we've got this blue zone. It's called the health zone. And the reason that I've named it that, darn it, I can't remember the name of the book. Give me a second. I can't get it. Okay. So there's a book on, it was a book on food, right? Or on, not food, it's a book on health in society. Right. And I was on an airplane. Actually, the night I finished, I was on an airplane coming back from a city I was training in. And the woman sitting next to me as we landed said to me, was that a good book? I've heard about that book. I said, yeah, it was actually a really good book, but I've got to ask you a question if you're thinking about reading it. She said, what? I said, do you like food? She said, yes, I really like food. I said, then don't read the book because you're not going to like what you read in there. And they talked about these zones around the world that they called health zones, right? Or blue zones, rather. These blue zones were places around the world, and a lot of it was Okinawa and some of the other Asian areas that community food they ate. They weren't eating a king's diet, not a lot of meat, and it was more of a rarity. It was just rice, right? In Asia was a big part of it, and vegetables. So that blue zone was considered a health zone, right? They called them blue zones. That's where the healthier part of the population was, and there were 5 or 6 of them. And this blue zone here is a health zone. It's an added support because we have two lines that are very close to each other. We highlight that, and we don't look at just the 200 anymore or just the 202.13. Right in there, we could stretch down into that level and still be hitting support as far as I'm concerned, which is exactly what it did today. It broke up, gapped up, pulled back a little bit and bounced. And we're looking for the bounce out of there. This, if I see two lines this close together and I make a blue zone out of it, I'm expecting more strength, more holding power there than if we don't have that zone in place. All right. So I hope that helps, Brenda. It was the China study. That's it, Trip. China study. That's the book. Guys, I'm telling you, check it out. It's an amazing book. I learned more out of that book than I did out of most everywhere else. The way they talk about food studies and how they're done and who's paying for them. And I love it. Oh yeah, egg yolks are the best thing you could ever eat. There's no cholesterol in them. Who paid for that? The egg industry. If they said that, I don't know. But who's paying for it is a big part of it. Costa Rica lived over 100 years old. Yeah, I mean, it's all over the place, right? Karen, you had China study in there also, so I appreciate that. Let's see. Trader Will said Tesla, and this is how Pop works. For the question that came up, Pop versus Monster Market Movers, that's a great point, Will. So Will's been in Pop for a long time, guys. He trades, over and over and over again, religiously, the positions we have in there. And then he has his own list that he adds and trades the exact same way, the same rules of what we do in Pop. Pop, for those of you that have not been before in there, there's a 2-week trial with the quarterly membership, by the way. But if you've not been in there before, I just want you to understand, this is not go in there for 2 weeks and you learn everything. No, it doesn't work that way, guys. I am letting you inside of my brain, which is a really freaking scary place for someone to go that's not me. It's scary for me at times, of everything that I look at inside of there. That's why I don't have a 20-minute long video and we're done, right? That's why it could take me an hour and 45 minutes, because if it happened this week, we're going to talk about it. And I am going to go in depth, in nauseum, to do everything I can to help you to understand it. So the next time that situation comes up, you know how to handle it and how to cover it, right? And we call the candidates out, the targets up, the stops out, bullish targets and bearish targets and everything. No matter what way it moves, we've got it covered. All right. So, but Will is spot on, guys. This is a standard. This is my Pop list right here. If I open this up a little bit, RR Pop 1 main, right? That's in my file that has these 20 stocks in it. Take a screenshot of it. It's all yours. Scary stuff, though. It is very scary stuff, Trip, what's in China study. It really can be. Let me see. I'm missing something here. Where is it? Okay, there we go. Perfect. Daniel, how you doing, my friend? Glad you made it. I know you got to be getting busy with season getting ready to get started there for growing. Let me close that up a little bit. Perfect. All right. Amelia's out of town today, or not town, but out of the office today. So she did not get us her trades in this morning. So I don't have any from her for today. So what I want to do is actually, let's stay where we were. I want to go back and look at S&P 500, right? So, very interesting. We're still up 15 points, but we were up 180 this morning, something like that, 160, 180, somewhere around there. So let's back it out a little bit first. Okay, we can see the entire Fibonacci in here on SPX, okay? And we've just been in this lower high, lower low model now, okay? And yet the previous day's close, Friday, was no different. We had that lower low, and today we make that move up, and we did chip away, breaking away at the ice. So chipping away at the ice works both ways, right? You could be breaking away to the upside too, all right? The difference is weight falls, right? So there's more of a push down than there is a push up on the breaking of it. So we opened up right at the 55. We pushed up there and went plunk, and we pulled back almost to the 50 percentile, which we got our bounce off of. We got a bounce, one line bounce off the 50, which was an amazing bounce, 2-day bounce. Great. And then we had that big gap down and we're back up. Right now, where I am at today is right now we're looking at today's open. Even right now, we're in a bearish bias. And the 8 moving average is getting closer and closer to being the lower moving average. I forgot what I heard this morning on one of the channels. I think it was The S&P is down 5% from the year's high. NASDAQ is back down into its bearish territory again, I guess from its this year high. I don't know what it was from, which one they were talking about. And I haven't looked at it on NASDAQ. So, but when we're looking at what's happening here, folks, I am not in any way ready to secede or succumb or give into we're ready to be bullish here, right? This nice, and I am not the one out there saying, oh, see that we're bullish here. Oh, see that we're bearish here. That's not me. I've been bearish all along. Will I trade bullish? Yeah, sure I am. But I did not believe, and I was the first one to say it, meaning I'm very vocal about it, that I don't think the downturn is over yet. I don't think we're returning to where we were, but I am hearing a lot more analysts, a lot more CEOs come out and say people are underestimating the market based on what the Fed is doing or they think they're going to do. The Fed is going to do what they need to do to control inflation. But I think they're also going to get to a point that they're going to hurt it, not hurt inflation, but hurt us where a recession starts to kick in, maybe deeper than what it had to be. I don't think the Fed's model works the same way any longer, right? Just like the VIX doesn't work the same way any longer the way it used to. Still important, but not like it was where, man, it was spot on today. Right? A lot of opinions on housing and what's going on with housing, and but housing's holding up. It's not really that bad. Okay, not the way I see it. Well, inventory is coming down. Well, maybe, but when sales are off and the neighborhoods we're looking in Florida are seeing a 100% increase in the number that I get on an email that are added, are new properties being listed from 1 week to the next. You had 30 and then you had 60. That's a 100% increase. I don't see where it's getting better. I am seeing prices come down. My wife came into me last night, and we're not ready to buy today because I don't think the houses are where they're going. And she brings her phone and she goes, look, $78,000 price drop on this one house. Right? And she goes, oh, you'll like it. It's right on the water. You have a slip right in the back. It's a Tarpon Springs, so it's right on the water there. It is a pre-foreclosure, an approved foreclosure by the bank to take that amount, cash payout. And I told my wife, I still think we're 10 to 20% drop in prices yet. Now, I could be wrong, and I don't plan on picking the very bottom. I'm not trying to get there. Be nice. Be the second time in my life I did something at the very bottom, but not where I'm looking at. When I'm looking at the markets here, guys, we are not, to me, we're not going to skyrocket from here. You'll get some short-term news that may send the market up, or short-term news that will push the market down. But I think overall, we're going to deal with chop for the next 6 to 12 months. I don't think we're there. And then even from that, what the Fed does is really where it's all going to come down to. How well they manage that risk. Where they were talking about before the last rate hike last month, they were talking about possibly 3/4 point hike. Now they're saying we probably still need at least 3/4 point hike. You get some of the Fed presidents coming on saying, you know, I don't see us being under 5. I don't see us being under 5.5. Right. So you've got to watch the market as if every day you are doing this to save your life. And I'm not trying to scare anybody, but I mean, this should not be, oh yeah, we're going up. It should be very flippant, right? You've got to talk it out. When I get up and I see the chart, right? Friday, the market closed. I had to do a video. I did it on Saturday morning for the market mornings, and I analyzed the chart. You see 5 or 6 minutes there. It takes me 20 minutes going through what I look at on my charts because I am talking out loud to myself of exactly what I see. Hands moving just like they are here, right? So when you just use your eyes, you're using 1 sense. When you speak it, you've got your voice, that's 1 sense. You're hearing it, that's 2, right? You're seeing it to be able to speak it, that's 3. And if you're like me and you're partial or all Italian, you're talking with your hands, that's number 4 as far as I'm concerned, right? Sit on my hands, I can't talk anymore. And I will talk out exactly what's going on, just like I did. You know, so when I saw this on Friday, and we're sitting here, right? And I'm looking at this going, all right, so what's happened? We got a further decline of the 8 down below the 21. I'm not in a true bearish bias, but I am bearish. Right? And I do like that the 8 is no longer on top. That gives me added belief in a push to the downside. We did break down below the 50 percentile for the very first time on the downside that had happened since we came back here from the end of last year. We've not been down below that 50 percentile on a pullback. And I'm not worried about this little hiccup in here. We barely got above and pulled back. I'm talking about we had made it up there to the 236 and pulled all the way back, right? So we haven't seen that kind of pullback in a while. We have not seen this kind of downtrend since this type of uptrend kicked in play, right? And I am talking this out of everything that I see. I'm going to a weekly chart, I'm going to a monthly chart, and I'm analyzing what I see. I also make 2 phone calls every single week to 2 individuals that I know personally. That one, is the economist, we call him, right? And what are you seeing in the market? One other person as well, another trader, to get some insight to what's going on and what I see out there. That's me, right? And then I do my recording for the market update, the Traders Market Intelligence Report, our newsletter on Sunday. And then, of course, on Sunday, I'm also doing power option plays where I do the same type of review, right? But you need to analyze this every day, every trading day, of what's going on and how do you plan on handling it, right? What position in the chair are you, right? That's important. What position in the chair? Right now, if I would have looked at this on Friday afternoon, I would have kind of been here, position number 1 in the chair. We gapped up today and went right to that moving average. I skipped position number 2 in the chair. I'm getting on the edge. I want to see, are we going to fail? Because the push up was still in a bearish bias with the opening there. That push up wasn't very exciting. Could I have traded off of it? Yes, you could have. You could have taken which I did. I did an SPY pivot trade today, small, and I only did a handful of contracts. Now, I wasn't very confident in the overall move, but I wanted to partake. So because I knew there was resistance right above head, right? But that pullback there was planned, right? Or not planned, that's the wrong word, expected, right? Believed that we were going to see that. Right now, what am I looking for? Break. Let me get down and see what our fib line is there. So break back down through the 50 percentile, right? And then 618 is our next downside target. From there, the 764 is with the confluence of our downtrend line. That's the overall big picture downtrend that we had going on for a year now, right? From January of 21, December of 22. No, backwards. December of 21, January of 22. Since that area there, that's that downtrend line that you're seeing on there, right? So that's me looking at the market. If we continue to push this way, if we fail, we did not even get above this previous swing high, right? If we fail, we're continuing to put in lower highs and lower lows, right? That, ladies and gentlemen, that right there is me doing my analysis of what I see. That's how I look at markets. I also look at economic reports. I look at VIX, all of that to help me determine the yay or nay of how I want to trade, if I want to trade. Gotta love winter months. All right, let's see what we got here today. Jim said SPX has not closed, but if it closes where it is now, could Friday's candle be considered an evening star? So it's the abandoned baby type pattern, right? That morning star, evening is up in the sky, right? So this is down. So not high reliability candle patterns to me. So a little caution there. No, there you go. And Jim said maybe it was a morning star. I get these mixed up. Think of where this, in the evening, where is it? In the sky. When it gets to morning, where's the stars? They set. They're down below, right? So evening is in the sky. That's the easiest way to remember it. What's overpriced, Barry? Karen said they can be making the Volcker mistake from way back with the whiplash of too much, too little. Yeah, it's very possible. Very possible, Karen. Yes, absolutely. The cost of the house. Actually, because it was pre-foreclosure, the bank approved that $78,000 drop in price is what it was. And they'll accept that dollar amount from the owner if he can get it sold before they completely foreclose on it. So as a pre-foreclosure. Thanks for the explanation of morning and evening. You got it, Jim. Absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. All right. So let's go and talk about, is the consumer confident? right? The funny thing is we picked this topic on a Wednesday, right, of what we're going to have for next week, because we already start sending some emails out, and this is what we're going to talk about next week. We title it, we do some marketing for it, which will help some new people find us. And if it's a topic that someone has an interest in, they pop in to see what we're talking about, what we're doing, right? When we say, is the consumer confident? I guess the first thing you've got to ask yourself is, what does the S&P tell you? What does the NASDAQ tell you? What does the Dow tell you? Are they showing you that the market is confident? The consumer is confident. If we look, let's go here. All right, so if we look at NASDAQ, right, this is a daily chart. It's, ways back. We had this great run up in here, right? Just phenomenal in 2020, right? Then we went to 21, pushed up there into the end of 21, and 22 just seemed to be the horror, right? The show in there. So we've recently had a nice sort of bounce on the NASDAQ. We did break the previous highs. We've got a pullback in there, right, from where we were, okay? But overall, is the consumer confident? So right now, what do you need to be focusing on? What's going on with the Fed? What's going on with companies as a whole, right? What's going on with outside forces, whether it be Russia, China? I saw a story today that China said that 3 years from now, the expectation is 3 years from now, they're going to go to war with Taiwan within 3 years. But now they're second guessing because of what's happened with the world and Russia, of are they going to continue to push forward that way? Right or wrong, good or bad, whatever it is, folks, you've got to look at these types of circumstances to help you determine what's going on, right? And is the consumer confident? I don't think the consumer as a whole knows what they're confident about or not. I think the consumer is off a little bit on what they think the market really does and is. And I think part of the problem is you're not talking the seasoned veteran, right? You're not talking the person that just makes a blanket statement that says this is good or this is bad. You're talking about a seasoned veteran, or seasoned veterans rather, know that there are going to be the ups and downs. It's pretty standard. One analyst today said, listen, if you're an investor, do I think it's a bad place to be, investing in tech here? As an investor, you're not worried if it goes down a little bit. That's not your concern, right? You're holding on to this. If you buy Google where it is now, this was their answer. If you buy Google where it is now, which was under $100 this morning, I didn't check it today. If you buy it where it is now, in 2 years, it's going to have a higher price. I mean, that's the investor. You're not doing it as a trader. You're doing it as an investor. Okay. When you had Tesla at $100 and it's now at $200, that's an investor, right? You're holding that. You're buying that thing for a long term, right? Kathy Woods talks about it all the time from ARK, of her investments, her Tesla. She said today she wished she bought more, right? If the consumer is confident, I think confidence might be what's the word I'm thinking of? If you're looking short term, saying this is it, we're going up from here, I think the mistake is the inexperience a lot of times. Now, listen, I could be dead wrong. Hope I am. Hope the market skyrockets from here, right? I'd love some of my positions that I am underwater on to be higher as well, right? Not a question. But on my investments, I know that when I buy SPY, I'm buying it with a drip mentality of I'm just going to continue to invest in it, continue to invest, continue to invest, continue to invest, right? Over and over and over again. If the consumer's confident, that's fine. On the average person, I don't believe is. Are there going to be some that are? Yes, I'm confident. I'm confident every day on the direction I choose to trade, but it's not bullish most of the time, at least not right now, right? At least not for the last month or so. Where was that high that we had put in right there? That came back on Feb 2nd. So almost a month ago. 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. 3.5 weeks now, right? The bullish hammer we had last Thursday was invalid. Is invalid now. Yeah, I mean, candle patterns are only important. Hammer happens at a A hammer happens at a support level. A hangman happens at a resistance level. So Raj, it just depends where your lines are. For my fibs, we had this candle pattern happen at a major fib level, which was my hanging man, right? And a great pullback from there. But yes, listen with your eyes, the chart speaks. Brenda, it sounds like a Ryan Litchfield phrase. Listen with your eyes, right? Listen with your eyes. I agree. Ryan is an amazing, it is, there you go. Ryan is an amazing coach. Listening with your eyes. And so bottom line here is don't get overconfident on a direction. All right. Don't be disappointed on a direction. One of the best reasons for trading switchback trades, which is a phenomenal Fibonacci setup. Trip, I know I saw you in here before. Not sure if you're still here. Do you happen to have any opinion on switchback? Do you like them, not like them? Right. One of the major reasons for trading switchback trades is you're not picking a direction today for tomorrow. You're not. You may have a bias, which I talked about last week, but you're not picking a direction. A switchback allows you to trade in either direction. You may like one better than the other. Thank you for the creative name to Trip. There you go, PK. Trip is the one that named it. Right, we went into some of the origin and monster market movers last week on that when we taught on switchback, which was the most complete switchback training I've ever done. Was there? I've got a 10-minute training on it somewhere out there. This was an hour and I want to say 30 minutes, 25 minutes, 20 minutes maybe of training on switchback, on how to trade that switchback trade. Switchback trade requires a stock to close near a major level. We use Fibonacci as our levels. Okay. So if we get a close near this fib line, we've got the potential to trade it up. We've got the potential to trade it down. I like this better down. It's already in a bearish bias. I've got more room to move to the downside. That's what I'm looking at there, right? So the switchback trades are awesome. Yes, very much so. Let's see. Got it. Okay, good. All right, what stocks do you guys want me to check out? Drop them in. Me to look at those. I don't think I saw any come through, which was good. You guys are holding off, waiting for me. So that's awesome. All right, I see 2 new messages in there. 3. All right. So Brenda's asking for Qs. Actually, let me go and grab my full list of stocks. Q. Okay, what in the world was that all about? Come on. Why does it say SPX at $291? All right, there we go. Finally. Wow. All right. So overall pattern, I love the move up, Brenda, to the 618. And we failed, right? And it just blew right through. We retested it, closed near it, pushed down 1 standard deviation. We went back up again. 1, 2 standard deviations. We got a quick little bounce and we go from there, right? So the H pattern finally came into play at that point, rolled over very nicely at that 618. Now, when we're looking at Qs, Brenda, we're in a neutral bias right now on the Qs. 293 and 283 are the downsides. You'll get some hesitation maybe at the 290.30 level, which is the 55 EMA, but not a target that I'm going to be putting in for getting in or getting out off of that, right? It's just more of a guide to help me understand it. So that's what I see on Qs. You also asked for SPY. And if I had you put symbols in earlier, please drop them in again. Because I'm not able to go back up. There's probably 300 messages in there now, and I tried to scan through quick to see if I missed any. So SPY, the 1,000 point level was it, right? That 400 rather point level was it. On SPY, we pushed right into it and failed confluence of the 55. Amazing setup. It was a zone of a bias of bearish and a rank of 2. right? So we had a great ranking on it. So 396.5 is our downside target, Brenda, for them. And then Amazon. Amazon, $94 a share. Again, guys, does Amazon go out of business? Is this the end of it for Amazon, the beginning of the death spiral? And the answer is no, it's not. Okay. So are they gonna pull back more? Maybe. I mean, they got down to 80, 81 earlier. They may go back down to that same level again. But I'm looking pure bearish on this, down to about $90, Brenda. So good start to it yesterday and today. Microsoft, Karen's asking for MSFT. Let's get a bigger picture. Okay. Okay, on Microsoft. So overall bias is still bearish neutral right now, barely. Problem is, Karen, if we break that 250, what is it, 249.98, that 250 level, 247 is our first support. So if I was looking to trade this one, Karen, the way I would handle this, and listen, Karen's a good trader. I've known her for a long time. If this is someone that I know, if I know the person is newer, I'm not going to use this as an example of what to do. All right. But take this as, oh, let me maybe practice that. Karen, if you took the bearish entry, I'd use the 55 for the break, the retest, and the fail. If you get that, I would use that 247.20 level as a support. As you pulled in and got closer to the 247.20, I would be putting a trailing stop in there. Maybe, $1 or $2 on the trailing stop for Microsoft. And once we break through that fib level and you start to see some strength to the downside, I would pull the trailing stop and go back to, or open it up and go back to whatever type of stop you're using, whether it's a hard target, whether you're putting a hard stop in, if it broke back to that 249 level or 245 level. But that's the way I would look to trade it. All right. I hope that helps. Kevin's asking for Tesla. If you took the trade today, Kevin, awesome. Great job. 211 is your target. If not, you need to bounce off the 202 again. Take it. Right now, it's near 206. So it went from 202 to 206 today. A little higher on the highs of the day, but that's where we are right now. So I love the setup. 3 stocks that I trade, we talked about this last week over and over and over again lately, are Tesla, Netflix, NVIDIA. Those 3, right? They are my go-tos right now. That doesn't preclude some of the lower price ones like PayPal and Roku. Big fans of those guys. Big fans, okay? Trader Will's asking for AMD. Let's get a bigger picture. So we were in a bullish bias. Well, actually, we were in a neutral bias on Friday. We gapped up. The opening price put us to a bullish bias. We've pulled back. It looks like we're back in neutral bias again. I would look at this as one of 2 ways. That's not Kevin. This is Will. So, Will, we got to get above the 21, retest and bounce, or we got to break the 78.47, fail, retest, and drop. Right? 72.83 is where I'd be looking for, but you're going to see potentially some hesitation at 75.64. So something to keep your eye on for sure. How you doing, Rose? Let's see. You're asking for USO. Right, which is US oil. So oil has been an interesting beast, right? The one thing to note here is our bottoms have pretty much held. Our tops have come down. So we're getting this little bit of a formation of a wedge pattern setting up in there. All right. So I'm right now, I am surprised we're not using more oil. I am surprised, even with strategic reserves that we're wiping out here, I'm surprised worldwide we're not using more oil. That China, who's coming back on board, who COVID restrictions are going away, just open everything up anymore. COVID doesn't exist, pretend it's not there from the original rules, right? That was expected to have a massive increase in the use of energy. and we're not seeing it yet. So I don't know why. I'm happy at that $76-ish level on oil, but I'd be careful of that wedge, Rose, is what I'd be looking for. Trader will also ask for Caterpillar, CAT. All right, so they were in a bearish bias on Friday's close. They pushed back up. Will, I mean, how much better can that be of a setup? I need to write that one down. Thank you, sir. CAT, nice. Okay, so we pushed right into a fib line. The 8 moving average is right there. We have a rank of 1 on this. If we close where we are, I would not be looking for the bullish entry. This could be a switchback trade with no real upside potential, right? So the downside to the 230.50 level, where I've got about $8, $9 potential move down. Yeah, I like it a lot, a whole lot. Yeah, Rose said, love doing both put spreads. Yeah, I love spreads, period. They're phenomenal. PK said, would W day after coming down to the 183.25 have met the criteria today for a day trade this morning? So if we go to WDAY, and what PK is talking about is what we looked at for or in power option plays. So you've got 183.25 PK. That's number 1, right? Is our fib line. I'll write that number down in a second. Our moving average yesterday, PK, already had a higher, it was already higher or further away than I'd like it to be, right? So the bounce up, you just have to take into account that the 8 could stop you, which it seems to have done today, right? There seemed to be some resistance there and fail. Got a little higher, but not much, and a fail. So that's the first thing, right? Now, if you're looking at what Friday's close was on the 8, and that's really what I need is the 8 on Friday's close, 185.52, 185.52. Okay, so if we're looking at 185.52 as the 8 moving average on W day. Oh, wrong one. Well, it wouldn't matter, but let's make that full screen. So where's the fib line? 183.25 and then 185.52, we said, right? Yeah, 185.52. Okay. So let's leave the 183.25 there and go to 185.52. 185.52. Color, style. Okay. So we opened higher, we gapped up and pulled back, right? And we ran right into it. So PK, we closed right here, just below. We moved up. We had a small push down towards that 183.25, which was the fib line. So our low on this candle was 183.38. We're talking about 13 cents higher. So that right there was an opportunity for the bullish entry, if you take into account that that moving average is okay and you're willing to take that risk. All right, I hope that helps on it, PK. All right, Raj is asking for DocuSign. Oh, let's get back here. All right, let's do that. All right, let's see. DOCU. All right, so right now we're in a neutral bias on that, Raj. I really want to see it get above the 61.60 level. That's where my bullishness is. The 8 and 21 are right there. They're living right there. Let's see, 61.5 to 67.5. That's $6. We don't need to fib it. So yeah, as long as we can get above that 61.60, I'm good. But until so, I'm not ready for the bullish entry yet. Keep earnings in mind. It looks like 3.9 on earnings. All right. Daniel said, doing great, Rob. Thanks for asking. Yeah, starting to get very busy. Sorry it took so long to respond. I was driving and listening. No problem. I appreciate it. Let's see. PK, you make it so clear when you explain it compared to what I see. Thank you. Well, and again, PK, all that is is experience. That's it. It's not that I'm any better. It's certainly not that I'm any smarter. I would guarantee you that most of you, a good portion of you, finished higher percentage in high school than I did. I was right about 50 percentile. I was the average guy. I was that C student, right? I was not the brainiac. Never was, never will be. Don't want to, right? Do any of you like the game show Jeopardy? Right? My wife is a huge fan of it. My mother-in-law, who speaks very little English, is glued to Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune every week, every night. My mother-in-law was here over the weekend. She's watching it here on Saturday at 7 p.m. Excuse me, 7 or 7:30 p.m., whatever it was. I call Jeopardy, I feel stupid. That's the way I look at Jeopardy, right? I feel stupid because I don't get them. I mean, I watch the games that they play with the kids and I can't, the teenagers, college students. I'm like, okay. They talk stock market or, something like that. Yeah, I can get it. What's the ticker symbol for United Healthcare? UNH. Yeah, I got that, right? I can do that. But that's not me. I'm not a brainiac, all right? The difference is I found something that I love. I have a passion for. I love to teach. I love to trade, right? And I figured out a way to explain it, to thumb it down where I'm not talking on this very high level. For those of you that know who Walter O'Brien is, was like the 5th smartest person in the world, right? At least he'll tell you he was. Amazing brain, right? Brain power, no emotional, no EQ, no emotional quote, nothing, right? He had no emotion at all, right? He's very book smart. I'm nowhere near that. Don't ever plan on being there. Don't want to be there. I'm cool where I'm at, right? When someone says to me, but you wanted to be a doctor at one point. Yeah, I would love, a lawyer, a doctor. I would not want to be a doctor, for me anyway. A lawyer, yes. Well, what happened? Man, lawyers make a lot of money. I said, yeah, but lawyers don't make as much as I do. Now, some do. Don't get me wrong. There are some that make a heck of a lot more than I do, right? But I didn't have to go to all that schooling. Thank goodness, right? Pass the bar exam. Thank goodness, right? It's getting really, really, really good, PK, at just digging in, talking it out about what you see, right? That's really what it all comes down to. Let's see. Love both programs. You are the best mentor to me, Rob. Thank you, sir. Kevin, you're welcome. Raj says, for fib selection, high, low, how many months back do you go? 6 months or a year? So I normally, if I take my symbol grid off of the screen, I normally go to an F5, which is right there. So that takes me back to August, or an F6, which takes me back to June. That's normally how far back I go. If I can't find something in there, Raj, then I'll go back further. But I also never, ever, 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 ever delete my fibs. They will all stay on there forever. Oh, but it's too busy. Yep. But if I need to dig in on them, I can. I can zoom in and go back and say, okay, where have we been at 37.65 before? And I can start scrolling back and looking for 37.65. Oh, there's 37.55 right there. Okay, I can find in my previous moves those numbers. Lots of fibs, Raj. Yes, lots of fibs. I am regularly on the Ben Zenga show, where they bring me in usually once a week, ask me to talk about markets and what I see. They more want to talk markets than they do even individual stocks most of the time, I think. And they brought me in one time on a show where the gentleman was a Fibonacci user, and we got talking, and I mentioned about not using fibs, not deleting fibs, rather. And he said, Rob, I've never heard that before. And I started to show the why. And next thing you know, there's tweets going out from him saying, man, you got to follow this guy. I never put, and he's a trader. He trades. He's not an employee. He's a trader. He said, what Rob was talking about today with keeping those fibs, man, they have come in handy when I go back and look, saying, oh, had I only seen that before? And he's spot on, guys, because that's how powerful they are to not get rid of them, right? So never take them off your chart. Raj, you're welcome. Stephanie said, I learned so much more in the past few months than I did with years at another company, okay? Which was not one that I taught for in the past, okay? and I appreciate that, Stephanie. And listen, it's when a student is ready, the teacher appears, right? It's finding the right step to take with the person that fits your personality. Listen, Ryan Litchfield, Tony Benson, Brandon Wendell, Sean Reed, Amelia Morrison, myself. There are 6 of us that teach how to trade. Are all 6 going to fit your personality? No, not to the T. You may like some things about each of us. And what I say all the time is you find the things you like, and you from each, you take those and you build you out as a trader. You don't have to trade exactly like I do, but take the pieces of my trading systems that work for you and incorporate them in yours. Take what Ryan does and incorporate them in yours, right? That's the huge, huge part of it. You know, right now, those of you that are in trading, we have a brand new section that's going in there. Ryan Litchfield teaches something called Tripod Trader. It is not something that he really does a whole lot of here. He's taught a little bit about it in some of the coaches' playbooks. I asked him to put a short series together on the 3 different positions of Tripod Trader and one other video, which was an introduction of it, which he just got the introduction one to us. So I am so excited for that. Those of you that are in Trading You, the next Trading You I do, I'm hoping to have it in there. And I want to direct all of you then at that point that are in Trading You to go watch that training. Because Ryan talks about the 3 different functions you must hold as a trader to be successful. And he'll walk you through exactly what he does in there. All right. And how it works. And again, take something from each of us and incorporate that into you as a trader. Right. That's how you're going to be successful in the market. Donald, you're quite welcome. Trader mentors. You got it, Will. You got it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave the room over in a couple of minutes. Miguel dropped a couple of links in there that you guys can go check it out. So with that, make it a profitable day. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, you're just one trade away. Take care, everybody. And I will see all of you at our next update. All right. Bye for now.